Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel and the modelling bench. Thought it was about time I did some kind of bench update to show what I've been working on, so what I've been up to, what's going on, general stuff like that. Well, as most of you, if not, well, some, if not most, are aware, my mojo's kind of been on hiatus for a while. It comes back in fits and starts. So I've been choosing projects just based more on what I fancy doing than anything else. And a couple of months ago I had a hankering to excuse me, do some figure painting. And while I was out wandering about, I happened to chance upon Games Workshop's Mortal Realms, which is a magazine, comes with some figures and some paints and some rules for a simple game that they do. And it was a good price for what you get. I mean, the first issue was $2.99 and came with like 13 or 14 of these guys, which are Graveghast. I'll show you a bit closer in a moment. And it also came with 3 Sigmarite something or others, I can't remember. We'll start with the Graveghast. I didn't do anything special with the bases, but if I bring one up, it'd probably help if I actually turn the room light on here, wouldn't it? Give me a second, I'll turn the light on. Being it's a low energy bulb, it will gradually get brighter as the video goes on. So these guys are pretty much just a skull face and maybe a spine with kind of zombie arms and a cloak. So the kind of classic ghost type thing. Now you think of the clanking chains and that kind of stuff. So I had good fun to paint. I had all sorts of interesting times, and they're good and creepy anyway. That's what I like about them. I've always been a fan of the undead in any kind of general 40k, well 40k fantasy setting, so I figured I'd make them not too grim and dirty and manky, but give them a bit of colour so they stand out a little more. I especially enjoyed this guy, who is literally a hand and a skull still attached to the stocks, somewhere around there. So these are all pretty much painted with Citadel paints of various flavours. And we come to the 3 Sigmarites, or Sigmarines as they usually get called. These guys are obviously somewhat chunkier. They're the good guys, or in my book, the bad guys. Because, you know, the good guys are always boring. And I'll say for what these guys cost, they're not the most detailed models, but plenty there to practice with and have fun. Again, these are painted in the same way, with the same general paints, pretty much all Citadel, I believe. The occasional Vallejo model there, or model colour. There we are, another one. I kind of painted them a bit more like Dark Angels than the bright shiny gold that they're supposed to be. That's not really my thing. And the next thing I did was, surprise surprise, the next edition that came out, which came with a pot of paint and 4 of the Mermorn Banshees, which are basically bigger, nastier versions of. And the main trick with these guys is getting the shading and colouring right so they look ghostly and spectral and ethereal, but at the same time have some character and colour to them, so they're not just boring. What I did like about these ones too is they've got some very detailed bases on them, which just adds more to the miniature. They're all flying around in a graveyard. Possibly the creepiest one of the lot. As you can see, they're completely hollow. You've just got the outline of the skull and the bottom jaw in the cloth and the armour, and there's nothing actually of substance inside, which I thought was really cool. They're all in different poses, and so this one's swooping down over a gravestone, nice and low. Still got the creepy face, and if we can try and get the base in the shot as well. So they're all good fun. That kind of thing I thoroughly recommend. Now, even if you don't paint figures, don't necessarily have to buy Games Workshop, buy some kind of fantasy type figures. Just practice, have fun. And the next thing I built is this wee beastie, which I can actually leave down because it's big enough. Which is the Bronco Models SU-152 Zvera Boy, the beast killer. Big, strong, heavy tank destroyer. What to say? Great kit, love it. Not for everyone. It's a Bronco kit. High parts count, fiddly, fits together well, goes together lovely, you know, great model. Just not necessarily for the faint of heart, as it were. And I kept the paint and weathering on this pretty simple. I just gave it a coat of green, a whitewash, wiped most of the whitewash off, and a light airbrushing with some grime on the top and a bit more down the sides. And yes, it has got the workable tracks on it, which for some reason I've decided they don't want to stay in the wheels this side, but never mind. And I did have a bit of an issue with the tracks, not in the putting them together. They went together really simply, really well. They're model cast and type, so not too tricky. And here's the tracks I built for the model. So you can see they still are workable. Yeah, they're the model cast and type with the individual links, individual pins. So they are actually like proper tracks would be. Only problem was I made one, and I made the other. Then I had a bit of a tidy up, and I realised I'd made one considerably shorter than the other one, so I needed more. Oh bugger. Fortunately I'd already built one Bronco, the KV122, which is it's the same KV hull, so I just robbed the tracks off of that instead. I cheated. Well, kinda, not really. And next up I started building, and it is technically finished. I just got to finish gluing that track together. Obviously I don't paint with the wheels or the tracks on the model, so we just pop them off if we can. So this is the Mini Art T54-1, the 1947 version. Again, absolutely gorgeous model to build. Again, not for the faint of heart. Just the torsion bars alone are about 4 or 5 parts, whereas in the next I'm showing the one piece. and we've got the machine guns on the side fenders. The full machine gun is in there with the ammo box, fully detailed as if it was sitting on top of the tank, so you can model it with it open. Obviously full photo etch. This is the non-interior version, but it does have more interior than some non-interior, or than some full interior tank kits I've seen. Mainly as it's part of the structure. It doesn't have a lower hull tub. It's all made up of individual plates, bottom, sides, front, rear, and the upper hull is about 7 or 8, or the top section is about 6 pieces. Basically, where you see a panel line on the model is a panel line on the real tank. So again, yeah, lovely kit to build, went together smooth, beautiful, no problems, typical mini art. Just got to get around to painting it now, which weirdly, given the figure painting, I've got mojo to do that. I've got mojo to build tanks. I haven't, just not really got the mojo to paint at the moment. So then, oh god, I feel dirty. Oh no, this is just wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. Yeah, it's a Panther II. Nasty, horrible, German piece of blech. But it was sat in the stash, so I thought, well, I might as well build it and get rid of it. It's the Amusing Hobbies Panther II. So far, it's gone together really rather well. The actual fit, no complaints. It's simple, easy to put together. The torsion bars work. Why, I don't know. Rear plate. I would say it's Tamiya-esque in its makeup. No, it goes together simply. It's pretty much that. It's slightly more complicated than a Tamiya. Not overly so. I would say if you used to building Tamiya armour and you decide to step up, then an Amusing Hobby kit might be a good way to go. But check out the tracks first, because I forgot the reason why this has been sat on the shelf for so long. Here is one track link. Let's get that nice and close so you can see it. Yeah, there's one track link. That's 5 parts. Yeah, 5 fiddly parts. Admittedly, yes, they are workable if you don't glue them solid, like I seem to have. That one, yeah, it's definitely glued solid. These are just the spare track links for the side of the tank. Yeah, that one's glued solid as well. So you're going to have to be very careful gluing these things together if you want them remotely workable. I would suggest slapping the bottom run together. Like, yay, see, yay. Then most of the top run together, because it's going to sit on top of the road wheels. Then do the 2 end parts and try and get them done quickly and in place before any glue sets. So there we go. That's what I've been up to at the bench lately. Not entirely sure what's going to be up next. Perhaps some kind of wingy thing, perhaps some kind of drivey thing. I'll just play it by ear and see how I feel when I get to it. Never know, I might have some more money by then and be able to buy some more kits. So there we go. Before I disappear off, a couple of things to shout out. First of all, move things out of the ways. International Scale Modeler, as part of the Friday Night Live at the Bench show, on the 3rd of April, will be holding a model kit auction in aid of Models for Heroes. So if you've got any kits you would like to donate for that auction, get in contact with either Paul or Tim through ISM or Malcolm through Models for Heroes, and it will all get sorted out. As I say, it'll be a live auction on the night. If there's anything you really want, then work out your timings beforehand, because if you try to snipe without getting how the delay works, there's usually about a 10 to 12 second delay. Depends on where you are. Sometimes it can go up to 30 seconds. So if you time your delay, then you can snipe bids. So there we go. And a couple of channel shout outs. Obviously ISM, if you're watching this as a modeler, you're already subscribed to ISM. You should be. Great content. Paul pretty much knows what he's doing, usually. Hi Paul. And the other one I don't have a sticker for, my good buddy Luke at Black Rifle Model Works. Very humble guy, deserves our support. Produces some much better than he believes model kits. Yeah. It's not for no reason that he normally ends up second or third in the live stream viewers vote on best builds of the week, and he's won it quite a few times as well, so you know, it can't be bad if you're winning. Anyway, I think that's about enough random waffle and guff from me at the bench. So I hope to see you in my Sunday live streams, this channel, 6 o'clock 6 o'clock GMT, which I believe is 1 PM Eastern Standard Time. And if you're American, you can work it out from there, or if you're Aussie, you can work it out from the GMT. It's pretty much 12 hours difference, I think, so you know, 12 or 11 or 13, it's one of them anyway, depending on what part of Oz. So thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, points, let me know down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. There will be modelling ones, there will be fishy tank ones, and I might go into a third direction as well yet, but I'm not entirely sure. We shall see how those thoughts pan out. But anyway, enjoy your hobby, whatever it is. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye.